Hey, Alex here with alextucker.ca, and welcome to today's PLR training, where I'm going to show you in a step-by-step tutorial how you can rebrand PLR ebooks in order to use them for whatever purpose you may. So as long as you have the rights, you can rebrand and rewrite PLR ebooks, and then you can sell them, you can use them to build your email list, you can give them away as bonuses, you can do whatever the rights allow. So if you're not sure what PLR is, I've got a link to a video that explains that thoroughly in the description. But in brief, PLR stands for private label rights, and it refers to products which have private label rights, which allow you to use them for various purposes, such as those that I mentioned. You can take a PLR ebook, you can use the content as it is, you can rewrite it if you want, as long as those rights are included, and you can often rebrand it, putting your own name and cover on it and using it to build authority. My favorite thing about PLR is that it really cuts down on the amount of time it takes to write an entire book. So if you want to write, say, a 10,000 word book, now two of the things that take the most time and energy when you're writing a book are coming up with the structure and actually typing all the words. So if you want to create a 10,000 word ebook and you get an 8,000 word piece of PLR content, or you put together several pieces of PLR content to create that many words, you've only got 2,000 words left to type, and then after that all you need to do is edit and proofread and make the rest your own, which really doesn't take nearly as long compared to writing the entire thing. And then you've got a ready-to-go book, which you can put a cover on, put your name on, and you can sell it, you can use it to build your email list, or you can give it away as a bonus, depending on the rights that come with the product. So let's take a look at my screen. I'll very briefly show you a few of my favorite PLR websites where you can grab some PLR if you want. You can even get the piece of PLR that I'm going to be working with for free if you want to work along with me, or you can get a different piece and work along with that. And I'm going to show you my exact process for turning average PLR into really good books. All right, let's go. All right, now, really quickly, I'm just going to mention that the three PLR websites that I use and recommend myself are plr.me. That's what this looks like. You'll find the link to it in the description of the video. The next one is idplr.com. You'll find the link to that in the description as well. And the last one is plrproducts.com. And so I've got affiliate links for all of these in the description of the video. I really appreciate it if you use them. And actually, plr.me and idplr both give you a certain number of free products that you can download. And I'm going to show you the one that I'm going to be working with, which I downloaded for free from IDPLR. And it's right here, Pinterest Profits. So all that you need to do is come to idplr.com. You can just go to the website, or you can use my affiliate link if you want. Then go to the section, or first you'll need to create an account and log in, which is free, and then just go to Products, eBooks with private label rights. It'll take you to this section, and then you can come here and you can get any 2 books, basically. I think it gives you 2 credits to download 2 books or 2 products. And this is one of the ones that I went with. And so you just click on that, and that'll open up. And then if I was signed in, I would be able to download. So if I click download, it'll ask me to log in. But anyways, so that's the book that I'm going to be working with. And you can grab it from IDPLR, or you can grab a different piece of PLR from IDPLR, or you can go to plr.me and get some free PLR there and just work along using the same strategies as I'm going to show you rather than copying me exactly. All right. The 2 things that you need are the PLR zip file and a word processor. Now, I like to use Google Docs, so I've got a fresh folder prepared here in my Google Drive, and I use Google Workspace, so I have the professional version of this. I have as much space as I need, basically, And then I have the Pinterest Profits, the PLR zip file right here. And what I did is I just right-clicked on this, and I went to extract all, and that extracted this folder right here, which, so it's got, they often will have two folders. This one is just for Mac users. This one is for PC users. So I'm just going to ignore the Mac one and go into this one. And then here we have the ebook, the e-covers, and the license terms. So the license terms is really the first important thing to look at. Usually the license terms are available on the website. You don't have to download it first. So if we come here and look at Pinterest Profits on IDPLR, you can come down here and see the license terms. And as you can see, you can do basically anything you want with this product other than give it away for free or add it to a free membership website. However, just to point out, you can use it as a bonus and you can use it to build a list, which is technically giving it away for free. You're just getting something in exchange. So if you are selling a product and you want to include this as a bonus, or if you're affiliate selling a product and you want to include this as a bonus, you can do that. Or if you want to use it as a lead magnet in order to build an email list, you're allowed to do that as well. You're just not allowed to give it away to people for no reason. So that's basically what that means. But it's always good to check the license terms inside the file. So I'm just going to open this really quickly. And as you can see, it's the same. It's just a document from IDPLR that says what you can and can't do with it. There's a bit more information here. I recommend that you always read the license terms carefully and make sure that you're abiding by them, even though they're pretty much always pretty standard when it comes to private label rights. Now, if you're using something like master label rights, or master resell rights, or resale rights, or personal use rights, those are different, and that's why it's important that you read the license terms. So then here in the e-covers book, you can see we've got some a PNG and a JPG of the cover, and it actually has the PSD. These are Photoshop files, so as long as you have Photoshop, which I do, you can open these up and you can modify them. And if you wanted, you could even just open up the JPEG or the PNG in something like Canva for free, and you could add text to it. You could add your name or something like that. It wouldn't look as good as if you modify it here, but it would work. It would be a means of getting your name on the product if you wanted to use the original cover. Personally, I never use the original cover. I always make my own cover, or use one from Designer, which is the ebook creator that I use in the end of this process. And that's just because, not a ton of people use PLR, especially not effectively, but some other people do, and you're going to end up giving away something that is and looks the exact same if you don't change it. So I always like to use my own covers. And then if we come into this ebook folder, this is where the actual ebook is. So as you can see, there's the actual PDF version, which I'll open this quickly, and you can see it's the full PDF, has a clickable table of contents and everything, and of course the cover. So you can just give that away, or sorry, you can't give it away because of the rights, but you can just, you could just sell that as is, or you can use it as a list building lead magnet, or you can give it away as a bonus. You can just use that as is. But like I mentioned, I prefer to modify and rebrand my PLR, because that way I can do with it what I want. And it also has the advantage of adding to my authority and getting my name out there more. So basically here you can right click and go to upload a file, or you can just click and drag. And the one that you want, if you're using Google Docs, then you want to get the DOCX. And I think you would want the DOCX if you were using Microsoft Word or something like that as well. So I'm just going to click and drag that in here. And it's uploaded. And now I can open it. And as you can see, this is actually going to be a really nice file. It's got, so the cover image is properly set as the background here, and I can just click on it and go to replace image and upload a new cover from my computer if I want. And then I can come down here, the table of contents is clickable, and I can modify that in any way if I need to. And then I can come down here and just start modifying the document, right? Now, if the PLR is not set up in a nice document like this, sometimes they're not this well formatted. And if that's the case, then I'll usually just copy all of the text into a new document and kind of start over. But since this one is so nicely formatted, I'll probably just use this as is and keep some of it the same. So, how do you go about rebranding, editing, rewriting, and basically recreating a PLR ebook? Well, that's what I'm going to show you right now. The first thing that I like to think about when I'm writing a book, whether I'm writing the book from scratch or if I'm rebranding and recreating a piece of PLR like this, one of the first things that I consider is how it's going to begin and how it's going to end. Now, no matter how much value you put in the middle of a book, if someone reads the entire thing, they're likely to remember the beginning and the end the most. And because the beginning and the end are generally in both fiction and nonfiction books, these are generally the introduction and the outroduction or the conclusion, they actually tend to be the least information dense parts of the book. So that means that there's more space in these parts of the book for your personality. And so when you're making a piece of PLR, when you're recreating a PLR ebook, I think one of the most important things is to fully rewrite the beginning and the end. You can do the entire first and last chapter or sections if it's longer, or you could just do like a page or a page and a half at the beginning and the end. It really depends on the particular piece of PLR. But before we get into that, the first thing I would need to do is read it. I've actually already read it, but I would go through, I would read it, I would correct all these mistakes. There's just some grammatical errors here. So I would go through and read and correct the grammatical errors. And so we'll just do some of this quickly. But anyways, just imagine that I have gone through and corrected all the mistakes and read the content. I mean, I have read it, but just pretend that I just did it now. And that's what you should do, whether you're using this document or a different one. This is pretty short. If we word count it, it's actually less than 2,000 words long, so it's a very short book, but as far as lead magnets go, it's actually fairly lengthy. So that's fine. So the first thing that I absolutely change in a PLR ebook is all of the subheadings as well as the title. So maybe I'm going to call this Pinteresting Strategies. And so let's see. So I'll need to make a different cover. And so I'm being a little bit silly, but you got to have fun with this kind of thing. So what I'm doing is I'm going through, I'm going to change all of the subheadings as I work through, and I'm also going to make sure that they use proper headings. As you can see in Google Docs, and I think also in most word processors, you can set something to a heading, and that's going to be important when I put the document into Designer in order to turn it into an ebook. And that would also be important kind of regardless of what you're using it for. So I always like to use proper headings like that. Just leave a space there. And I think just to show you quickly, I'm going to go through and change all of the headings and subheadings. So this is really more of a subheading than a separate heading to itself. So I'm going to make it an H3. All right, so a little something like that. So I'm basically just changing these into similar titles that I think are better, that still represent the content well, but that are unique to me and that I think will keep people reading a little bit more. This one's pretty good, so I'm just going to change it a little bit. Same here. Not being very creative at this point, but I didn't really plan this. I'm just sort of shooting from the hip here. Oops. All right, so now I've changed all of the subheadings. And so now what I would do is I would go through and I would write a brand new introduction for this that's completely unique to me and my experience with Pinterest. And I would do the same for the conclusion. And another thing that I like to do with these books is change the links if they're not relevant and delete and replace any images. I don't like to use the images that come in PLR books. They're usually not anything special, and they're also, if someone gets another copy of the same piece of PLR, they're going to recognize it really easily if it has the exact same images in it. Whereas if just a few of the words are the same, but you changed most of it, they're probably not going to be like, hey, this is the same book. But if it has the same image, they're going to recognize that for sure. So I like to go through and just delete all these images. And then when I'm going through and actually rewriting this, I would replace any that were necessary with screenshots of my own. Now, I'm not actually going to go through live and edit the entire book because that would just take way too long. But basically, hopefully now you can see sort of the bones of it. Like I said, I like to redo all the titles and subtitles. I like to rebrand it. I like to rewrite the beginning and the end significantly. And then I go through the rest of the content. I rewrite anything that's not accurate. I rewrite anything I feel could be better. I rewrite anything that doesn't sound like my voice. And then once I'm done with that, I actually have a couple of options. So if you just want to use this cover, so you could use this cover, or you could make your own cover and then go to replace, upload from computer, and then you would have a different cover on there. And I would need to change these to the new subheadings as well. But I just want to show you how to get your PDF from this. Then you can just go to File and Download, and then you can download it as a PDF, and that'll just download it to your hard drive as a PDF, and that can be your PDF that you give away. Now, what I usually do is I go to File, Download, and I actually download it as a DOCX file, and then I upload that DOCX file into Designer, which is a really nice ebook creation software, and that helps me generate a cover. It helps me generate cover images. It helps me make the ebook look really nice, and then I just export it from Designer, and I have a really great ebook along with a cover for it. So that's what I do. But if you want to just do it as cheaply as possible, then you can just, like I said, go to File, download it as a PDF, and then you would have your modified book with your modified cover if you changed it here. and you'd be ready to go. All right. Now, I did want to show you how to use Designer in this video as well, but it's already going pretty long, so I don't want to make this like another 30 to 40 minute video. I'd like to keep it around 20 minutes or less if possible. So I'm going to do a Designer tutorial in a different video. Make sure you subscribe to the channel and stay tuned for that. But the truth is, Designer is actually really easy to use, so if you want to grab it, I'll put my affiliate link for it in the description as well. So that is how to edit, rebrand, and recreate a piece of PLR material as your own. We're just working with ebooks today. Maybe we'll do something with videos in the future. I'm still planning my content calendar for the new year, but there's going to be quite a bit of content about PLR. I really like working with private label rights material. I find it very helpful in my business, and I hope that you do too. All right, take care, and I'll catch you in the next video.